I might have to do a couple of practices with the nitty knotty, so I'm gonna go through my scrap yarn first, just to remember the rhythm and the movement of it. I know that I hold one arm out and like this one doesn't move. The other hand is the one that makes the motion, and it's like start up, go under, over, on the other side under. I think that's what, okay, maybe I do remember it. This is the top, this part is the bottom, so this part forward, like horizontal. It just turned out so well. I just don't want to mess this part up. I'm so close to this being actually yarn. So it is time for me to offload my yarn from my bobbin. Here we are, this is yarn. I just need to set it with some heat so I could either completely soak it, or what I like to do, I use my steamer. Once it's completely dried, I can actually start using it as yarn. A little bit of scrap yarn. I need to start with a slip knot. I remember that part. Start on the left-hand side, under, on the top, back to the bottom. It's like riding a bike. Okay. Yeah. That was not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. And the whole thing is just this really fun movement. I like to get my whole body into it, stretch my back a little bit. Okay, that was my entire practice. Scrap fiber there. How am I going to set this now? I've done it before where I set it somewhere and I start working with it and it rolls all the way across the room, never to be seen again. I mean, I just picked everything up, put it back onto the bobbin and started over. But if you can avoid that, it is a much more enjoyable process. I have been setting my timer as I'm spinning for 20 minutes. You already know, we've chatted about that. I said I wasn't gonna get up and walk around or do anything crazy, but because I've been consistently doing this, like way more than I thought I was going to for Tour de Fleece, 2-3 hours at a time. I've been doing some stretches in between. I mean, I'm not even to the end of the first week. It kind of screams 80s horror. Any campy 80s horror movie, this would fit right in. There is so much on this bobbin too. Just a little bit left. Reach the end, all I have left is my lead. And I need to take that part off. I don't like to cut it because I can just use that yarn again. I had to take a little bit of a break and go on a run because I was looking at the weather, and basically this entire past week it has just been downpouring, not just raining, thunderstorm, huge giant puddles that accumulate really, really quickly. And I don't have an issue running in the rain, but I have 2 pairs of shoes that I circulate between. So one would get super soaked. I set that one aside, let it dry for the day, use the other pair. But as of yesterday, they were both dry and I just did not want to get either of them wet. So I had to go do that really quickly. Beat the rain. It is now officially started. I can like hear it in the background. So this is kind of perfect. Waited until it started to get nice and cozy and I can set my yarn now. Really, I should do my workout before I spin because I have a lot more energy. Typically, I'll do it in the morning, but I've been trying to spin a little bit in the morning just in case I don't have enough time in the evening. Like, I don't want to miss a day. We're doing the entire 23 nights. So anyway, there we are. I'm back. Let's get into this. I have my steamer all set up. I think it's ready. It feels warm, so I'm not sure if the light on the top, if that means that it's ready to go, or like if I just plug it in and it's ready. That's amazing. Okay, sweet. And then in the middle, you can already see the difference from the right-hand side to the left. The fibers are just much more compact and like right there. That twist is set now. So once I pull this off, it's not going to unravel or twist back on itself, which actually let's do that. It does need to be tied though. So let me grab a little piece of scrap yarn, more scrap yarn. Here we go. I'm gonna start up here. Just loosely tie this together so that way as I pull it off, it doesn't get all tangled on itself. I just didn't have any reference point of how much yarn I was actually going to be making. Since we're only a few days in and I have this ready, plus I have 2 more waiting ready to go. I mean, I have a little bit of that purple that I worked up. I have more of the black. I could actually probably spin that up and set that tomorrow. That one didn't even get locked in. Tie it over top of the piece that is the starting piece. And okay, now we're good. Let's get back to it. Probably be able to see it easier, and there's more surface space, so I'll be able to set it a little bit better. Honestly, I should be able to use this tonight. It does not take that long for this to dry. All right, we need to switch hands here. This morning I was going through some of my books that I want to read for the 100 Nights of Halloween. Here is the thing that I've kind of been playing around with. What if I read one book every week for the 100 Nights of Halloween? That would be 15 books in total. I mean, there have been years that I definitely have done that, and I have a ton of cozy murder mysteries in my queue at the moment. I went to the thrift store the other day. They had this huge sale going with paperbacks. I love paperbacks. I know this is a total personal thing, but I like the small compactness compared to the hardcover because I can throw it in my project bag with the rest of the stuff that I have. I ended up grabbing quite a few of the murder mysteries, and I went based off of just the cover. So anything that was, like, they aren't even in order. Some of them are first in the series. Other ones, I grabbed them because they had pumpkins on the cover or costume store. One is like the amateur sleuth works in this small town, shocking, I know, and owns their own bike store. And this one is a costume mystery. The storefront completely covered in costumes. There was skeletons and pumpkins all over it. And that is the thing with cozy murder mysteries. They basically are standalones. Yes, there's character development and everything, and it is good to see that entire process and kind of be invested in the character. Like, there will be throwbacks to, oh, I solved this, or this person we chit-chatted, but for the most part, they catch you up on it. So I wasn't too worried about if it was like the 6th or 7th one in the series, and I hadn't even read the first one. Also, most of them were $2 a book. So I got a few of those, looked through it. I have more than 15 chosen, which is good because I do read a ton, especially during the 100 Nights of Halloween. I think there's just a couple of pieces down here that I need to focus on. Let's just hit this area real quick. Okay, I think we're good. It is pretty damp and it smells like sheep in here. The last thing I need to do now is let this officially dry. So I'm going to hang this up probably in my bathroom because I have cats, and especially Alanis. The other two don't really mess with it. But if Alanis smells fiber that is wet, she goes absolutely feral. Will not rest until she finds it and makes a nest out of it. I have a little hanger that I'll put it on, spread it out nice and even. I am just so freaking happy with how this turned out. And this is going to be the template now for the other two braids that I have. And hopefully I have enough to make a cute pullover sweater with it. Either way, I did think about this while I was on my run. If I don't have enough of this pink stuff, I do have plenty of the darker roving to work with. Depending on how much I get from the pink, I'm going to alternate. Or I'll do the body with the pink, and then the ribbing will be the dark kind of carbon and black. It is interesting because normally when I think about, oh, I want to make a pullover, well, I'm going to make it right this second. Let's go grab the yarn. Let's get going on it. But this one, I've really had to think about it. The hook I want to use, the style, how much yarn am I going to have from it, because I'm the limiting factor. I can only spin so much of it, and I only have so much of this color too. So yeah, I stand by that this is going to be my favorite wearable that I've ever made so far in the Yarn Dungeon. All right, well, I'm gonna go hang this up. Tomorrow we'll be back. This will be dry. I'll pull it out, twist it up into hank form, and I'm gonna let it sit for a second. I'm not gonna cake it up into a ball. I'm not gonna work with it anyway, so I'm gonna put it in the hank form, maybe put it on my mantle, and then I'm gonna get back to spinning either more of this pink or some of that purple, since I have about a half a bobbin of the purple. Let me know what you'd rather see. Pink, purple, what are we feeling for tomorrow? But for right now, that's it. So thanks for hanging out with me for another spooky spin, and I will see you in my next video.